Hi, everyone. Hi, teammates. My name is Sean J. McCall, and I am your host for this episode of the Eurostep. I almost said the fourth quarter, my old show, for the Eurostep. And, as usual, we like to look behind the scenes of European basketball in general, by having diverse guests telling their stories and hopefully giving some knowledge to those of you that are watching or now or later on the YouTube channel after I put it up after the show. And yeah, we're going to jump right into it. I see it. I see it, Britt. I'm going to join you in just a second after the intro. So yeah, let me do my intro and then I can get my guest in. Don't forget that if you hit the bottom on the comment section, you can ask a question that I'll try to get in as we're talking. If you don't want anybody else to see it except for me, you can hit the question mark with the speech bubble and only I will see it, and I'll still try to get your question in during the conversation. So my guest tonight her name is Britney Jones, and she is a vet's vet. She's played in a ton of countries. I've got a question. Let's see if she can answer that after she gets on. But she's played in 12 different countries since turning pro. She's originally from Chicago. She's won 4 league championships in 4 different countries, which is an amazing feat in itself. I mean, just winning one championship is hard enough, but to do it in 4 different countries is exceptional. She'll be in Romania, or she's actually in Romania right now. And off the court, she's doing big things, and that's what we'll talk about as well. I don't want to put words in her mouth, so I'll let her big herself up. So let me get my guest in so we can get it. Brittany should be popping up right about now. Or not. There she is.
Uh-oh. Is that right?
You're good.
Okay, cool. How
How
are
you doing,
you?
Brittany?
I'm all good. I'm all
All right.
good. I
Thanks for
can't complain. Let
thanks
me get the
for
right.
yeah, we gotta
Okay,
both get
yeah.
our cameras right.
Yeah.
So there, I'm good. I'm as good as I'm gonna get. So Brittany, thank you so much for coming on. I really appreciate you taking some time out and coming to explain your journey and hopefully give the people out there some valuable information that they can use now or later. It doesn't matter. And yeah, I appreciate you coming on.
For
Thanks.
sure. Thank you for having me.
So let's get straight to it. So basically, what we're doing is think of it as a conversation. Yeah, don't think of it so much
Right.
as an interview. Speak your truth. There's no time limit. Just go ahead and talk. I like
Right.
interrupting my guests telling their stories. So just feel free to share what you wish to share. What you don't wish to share is fine. That's about it.
Right.
Those are the only rules.
Let's spill it. Let's
All right,
spill
let's
all the
get it.
beans.
Let's get it. So let's start back to college times at the University of
Yeah.
Alabama, Birmingham. You had a
Yeah.
great career there.
hmm
While you were in college, did you have the NBA dream? I mean, WNBA dream, or were you um, even really thinking about playing professionally after you finished?
Oh, for sure. I think that was a dream since I was like 4 years old,
Right.
you know. So when I hit college, I was like, oh, it's possible.
hmm
When I hit
So then
college, I
it
was like,
became a
oh
reality
man.
in your head.
Oh, for sure. For sure. When you hit college and like you see how good you can be, you're like, oh man, this thing is possible. This is
Were you
possible.
thinking? Were you thinking about purely like WNBA or bust, or did you also have an eye on Europe at that time back then?
I don't even think Europe became a thought until like my senior year. To like my senior year. But the whole time it was like, man, I'm going to the league. I'm going to the league. I'm going to the league. And then my senior year was like, oh, okay. So if I don't make it to the league, I can continue and playing, in Europe. So
Right.
for sure. But I didn't get that until like my senior year. My whole career I'm thinking league.
Had you heard anything about playing overseas? Did you have any friends that played overseas? Or, I mean,
Nope.
I think everybody's goal is NBA, WNBA, or bust.
Exactly.
We're, especially as
Exactly.
Americans, we're so focused on that it's kind of, you kind of have the blinders on and you don't see what's going on
Uh-huh.
around the world.
Uh-huh.
Now
Yep.
it's a little bit more in vogue to play overseas, but 12 years
Mm-hmm.
ago, 13 years ago, when you were coming out of school, it wasn't like that. So had
Exactly.
you had you had any experience with anyone that had played overseas or someone that could tell you what it was like?
No. No. Nope. I didn't have anybody to tell me what it was like.
So you were flying
No
blind.
one. Man, what? Let me tell you how blind I was. Let me tell you how blind I was. I went overseas and I actually came with the American plug. I had no idea that their plugs was different. So I had to so one of my teammates had to give me like five little
The
what you
adapter.
call it adapters that you can adapt from the American to the European. I was like, oh, okay, okay. I had no idea, and that's how blind I was to, the life of European because I had never played before. I had never played in
Yeah.
Europe, and nobody put me on game. Nobody put me on game. So what you're doing right now, a lot of people are gonna benefit from the gems that you're dropping daily.
Thank you. I appreciate it. So basically,
Yeah,
you needed this book like 12 years ago, 13
man.
years ago.
Listen.
But I'm gonna send it to you when we get off. We're gonna talk, and I'm gonna send it to you. It still might help as a vet, so I'm gonna get that out
Yeah.
to you.
You never stop learning. You never even stop
No,
learning how to communicate. You
no,
find different ways to communicate as you get older with the young ones that's coming in. Like this year we have a player, this your first year. And she was like, B, like, how is it different? Like, what's the difference? College and European. Like, this is her first year out. And I'm like,
yeah,
okay,
yeah, yeah.
okay, I
So
see.
you kind of see yourself in her in a way, right?
Oh yeah, for sure. Because you have no idea what to expect, and you can hear all the stories that you want to hear, but until you actually go through it yourself,
Yeah,
then you'll realize. Then you'll start getting the revelation of how to live over here. How to go, how to spend your time, what the practice is like. You have to go through it. We can
right.
give them all the stories of ourselves, but until they go through it, then they'll really get broken in into how the lifestyle and the game is.
Yeah. Back when you were a senior, did you have an agent when you first came over? But was your first job wasn't in Europe, it was in Latin America, right?
Right. So I played in Puerto Rico.
So how did you go about finding an agent, or how did you find that first job?
How did I? How did you know what? My godfather. He was like, "Hey, I know because I said out of here. I didn't go right away, and that's staying true to the grind. That's actually staying true to what I felt like I should be doing. I had to sit out for a whole year and just
Why
prepare,
why were
and I
you
thank
sitting
God for
out?
that.
Why
Though
were you sitting out? Was it because you didn't have an
I,
agent
I
or
didn't get picked up.
Mhm,
I didn't get
mhm.
picked up, and I had an agent at the time, but she wasn't good. I believe she was Turkish. This was in 2009. I picked her up. She wasn't working for me like I felt she should. So I fired her. And then 2010, I got with Gene McNulty. A lot of people know Gene McNulty, a
Yeah,
lot of people.
yeah,
So when
yeah.
I got with her, my godfather was like, "Hey, I know this lady, da da da. She's an agent. She worked with women. Let me see if she can help you." And about 4 or 5 months later, I was signing in Puerto Rico and then going to Iceland. So yeah,
So I mean, so you pretty much you kind of got lucky that you set out a year and found someone to represent you, even though you had set out a year. So
right,
what do you say to men, women that have that gap year? Like, don't be sitting at home. Like, what kind of advice would you
right.
give them?
What I would definitely say is delay don't mean denied. That don't
Excellent,
mean that.
excellent.
Delay don't mean denied. It doesn't mean that. Prepare. Use that season to actually prepare. Get in better shape. Get stronger. Work on some things. Because my call came like this, and I was leaving the next day.
Yeah,
Had
it's
I
just
not
like
been
that sometimes.
prepared, I got to get ready. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
You don't want that.
yeah.
You
So
don't want that.
you started out in a totally different area before you came over to Iceland. So what was
hmm
the what was it like playing over there compared to when you came over to Europe? What like the style of play, lifestyle? What was it like over there first?
The basketball was kind of the same. Iceland is not really a reputable country for basketball, but for me, it was a feet wetter. For me, it was a stat
Exactly,
filler. It was a
exactly.
stat filler. You don't make a whole bunch of money getting
Yeah,
your feet wet, getting your
yeah,
stats up, getting your name out there. So sometimes you got to take that low blow. which is not really if that's how you look at it, it's a low blow. But I looked at it as like, okay, this I can get on right here. I can get on
Yo,
right here.
it's crazy that you say that because I mean, actually, we are totally off topic where I was going. We were going to
Yeah.
get to that later, but we're going to roll with this right now because you dropping some gems. So it's crazy that you say that because that's what I tell people all the time is like, first of all, you have to be ready if you, especially if you have gap years, right?
Yeah.
But you're gonna have to bite the bullet. You're not gonna get paid a
Mm-hmm.
whole lot of money. You got if you get a job in Iceland, if you get a job in Ireland,
Take it.
wherever, um,
Take it.
you're not gonna be making the same money that you're gonna make over the course of your career.
You're not
You're
making
gonna
12K a month in Iceland.
you're yeah, and you can for sure make more money back home damn near working at
Yep.
McDonald's. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
But if that's
Yep.
your dream, then you're going to take that bullet, you're going to take
Mm-hmm.
that and roll with it and make the best out of it and get your stats
Mm-hmm.
and get your
Mm-hmm.
film and take the
Yep.
good from it. But a lot of people,
Yep.
I've talked to quite a lot of people lately. When I tell them, hey, yo,
Yeah.
you're going to be at like 400 a month. What? 400 a month? That's not enough. Make it enough or stay at
Yep.
home.
Yep. Yep. Make it enough. But see, like it's all about how you look at it. If you look at it as like, man, I ain't playing for no peanuts. You know what I'm saying? Man, I ain't finna go over there and play for that. I could be at home. I could be at home working. If that's what you want to do, then do that. But if you really have a desire to make this to be professional and have a long career, start there. Start there. That's what I did. I'm 13 years in now, making way, 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 way more money than I was making my first year. But I had to start though. Nobody knew me, and I had a gap year.
Yeah, yeah.
And on top of that, I had a gap year. So,
And and it's
um,
crazy for women. And this is now I'm kind of back on my theme. But for women, I think it's much more difficult for you to find quality jobs because first of all, compared to the men's side, the women have far less teams that are
right.
far less leagues
Mm-hmm.
that have quality
Mm-hmm.
teams, far less
Mm-hmm.
divisions. Like
Mm-hmm.
Spain, they got like damn near 9, 10 divisions.
Yep.
But um, so you've got that is far less jobs, period. But those jobs are
Mm-hmm.
also very hard to get because you've got competition now from WNBA players. Of course, you've got
Yep.
college players coming out every year. You've got the vets that have been there still that
Mm-hmm.
have played overseas for so
Yep.
the quality jobs are very, very few and
Yep.
the competition is just immense. Is that about right?
Mhm. That's a right. That's totally right. That's absolutely right. That's absolutely right. And then you got more men playing than women anyway.
Right.
So that competition is going to be a lot more spread out and wide range than women. When you do find your good leagues, they're good. When
Mm.
you get to the good leagues,
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
is good competition. You
Yeah.
playing against WBA day in and day out. And most of the time that's where you want to plug at. That's where you want to stay. Because
Yeah.
that's where the money is and that's where the
Yeah.
competition is. So that's perfect.
Well, but there's levels.
Mhm.
You gotta
Oh
work to get
yeah.
there. Yeah, you gotta
Oh
work to get
yeah.
there. I
Yep.
tell
Yeah.
people all the time, like my first year, I made $1,200 a month in
Yeah.
hosting, and
Yeah.
I I didn't care. I was pooping. I didn't care,
I don't care.
And
Yeah.
compared to what I was making when I finished,
Yeah.
it's not even comparable, But for a couple
Right.
of years, I mean, shit. My first paycheck, I paid $750 for my phone from that 1,200 because I
Wow.
didn't know no better. Come on, I'm an old head, so we talking
Wow.
prehistoric time.
Yeah.
We talking no internet, no FaceTime. We talking like
Wow.
like you got to call people, you got to write letters type shit, right? Okay, so
So what was your first year
95,
in Europe?
95.
95?
Yeah.
Yeah, so the connection and the phone calling, it was different.
Yeah, I mean it was mad
Different.
expensive, but tell
Yeah.
how do I know that as a 22-year-old first time overseas, I'm calling
Yeah.
everybody. Yo, I'm over here.
Yeah.
Yo, I'm waking people
Yeah.
up in the middle of the night. My mom, my pops. I'm calling my brother. I'm
Right.
calling my
The
girlfriend at the
time
time.
difference.
You know,
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm lonely. I'm like, yo, wake up, like talk to me.
Yeah.
750 euro, $750 my first phone bill.
Dang.
it was a lot more expensive than now. Of course,
Yeah, I'm sure.
modern technology has made leaps
Yeah,
and
the
bounds.
technology was totally different.
Yeah. So, okay, let's get
Wow.
back to you though. Let's get back to you.
Yeah.
12 countries, name them.
Oh man, you going in the bag. Ooh. So I'm gonna try to go all down the
In order.
list.
Okay.
So Puerto Rico, I played in Iceland back to back. I played in Romania, won the championship that year. Um, I played in Romania again. I got guard of the year that
Oh,
year.
no, you already said, Roman. We're talking about the countries. Just
I
the
played
countries.
that right. I played that twice.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
played Romania
but
back to
we
back.
just talk about the countries. How many times you played there don't matter.
Okay.
So
Okay. Played
you
in
got
Romania.
Puerto Rico, you got Iceland, you got Romania.
Yep. And then I got after that I went to Russia 2 years. Went to Russia, and then I went to Belgium. Played there 2 years. Then I came out of Belgium, and then I went to Switzerland at the end of the season. Won the championship there.
Six.
And then I played in El Salvador.
Pinnacle basketball coach Coop says Israel. He trying to
Yep,
help you
I
out.
played. Yep. I played in Israel. And then I played in Belarus. Played in Belarus. I played in Poland, and now I'm
Poland.
back in Romania.
Okay, all right. So, um, what what was it like changing countries so often? Was it difficult to change your game? Because of course, in every country, there's a different style of play. So,
Right.
was it easy for you to adapt to the different
Yeah.
styles of play?
Yeah. It was easy to adapt because most coaches, when they recruit me, they pretty much know what they're in
What you
for.
do? Hmm.
Yeah, they pretty much know what I do. Fast paced, pick and roll game, shoot a lot of threes, get to the basket at any time. So they bring me in not to conform me, but to conform everybody else to fit my style of play. So it wasn't hard at all. Like most coaches, when I come in, they say, "Hey, do what you do." That's why we got you here.
How
The
how
fast
long did it
game.
how long did it take you to get to that level? Because at first, when nobody knows you and stuff, it's
Right.
hard for them to know your game. So you're a vet at some point, right? So
Right.
at what point do you think like, okay, this is what I have to offer, and this is why they're
Yeah.
bringing me in, and this is what I do. How long did it take you to have that confidence in that rep?
One preseason game.
Who-
One
who-
preseason game. That's it. That's it. And they know right off the bat, okay, this is it. This is how she coming. One
Okay.
game. One game. And
Okay.
I haven't had a coach who tries to change it. Like I
Good.
say, because when they watch the film and they watch whatever they're watching, they know that that's my style of play. And they're like, okay, we want that. We actually need that. So when I come in, they're not like, you need to change that or you need to slow down, da 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 da. Most of the time they say slow down because of the clock or because we winning or whatever. But
Mhm.
they let me off the leash. One
So
preseason game.
So I hear a lot from guys and girls that I talk to that the one question that I get very very often is, um, what do I do when I first get there? Now,
Wow.
what I'm assuming is that you were like,
Mhm.
okay, this is me, this is what I do. A
Yeah.
lot of young players right now are questioning, okay, why are they bringing me over here? Sometimes they're getting information
Right.
from the coach, sometimes they're not. What advice do you have to those that are first coming overseas for the first time that
Wow.
don't know
Yeah.
exactly what to expect? I usually tell them, hey, I wrote this in a post the other day, like you're not coming to be a glue guy or a glue girl. It's different from
Right.
college. You're not coming to
Right.
be with the team and like you were in
Yeah.
college and
Yeah.
everybody fill that role, rah, rah, rah. It's different
Yeah.
when you're a pro.
It's different. It's totally different. Now, that's funny that you say that because I told you we have a rookie and she's looking for it to be like college. And I'm like, nah, you're on your own. I felt that too. The very first, when I felt that was, I believe in Greece. And I was like, so we're not gonna eat together? They're like, nah. So I'm like, we're not gonna do this together? Nah. You really on your own per se. You know, it's not like college. You don't have to come and eat together. You know, of course you have film on the road and of course you got dinner, but some teams don't even have dinner with you. You could come to dinner, you don't have to.
Mhm.
So we looking at it, we thinking that it's going to be a family. We think that it's going to be like a college with the camaraderie and hanging out with each other and all of that. It's totally different. It's totally
Yeah.
different.
And especially
It's not like
overseas,
that at all.
especially out in Europe or wherever you go overseas, because people don't have time. People, some people you play with might have jobs, you know. So
Yeah, yeah,
you know,
yeah. And some of them
they
have
come into
kids,
practice. They come into practice
families.
after their job, or they come into practice after
Uh-huh.
being at
Mm-hmm.
university the whole day. You
Yep.
know, you might be the only
Yep.
professional on your team. It can
Yep.
happen.
And
You know,
some countries you're the only professional. You and
and
probably the other American. Or maybe
yeah,
just you.
or maybe just you know. So,
Yep.
um, so it's really you out there solo dolo, and you got to take care of yourself.
Yep.
It's of course you
Yep.
want to do things as a team. You want to play team
Yep.
basketball, stress that as well, pass and cut. You
Mm-hmm.
know, not just dominating a ball, but still you are an adult. It is your job, and just like any
Yeah.
job, sometimes you don't want to be with your coworker. You don't want your coworker all up in your business.
Yeah.
You know, you want to go
Yeah.
home and relax by yourself and watch Netflix. You know,
Yep. Yep.
and
Yep.
that's what a lot of youngsters with it's just kind of like a shock, like damn,
It
like
is a shock. It is a
like
shock. It was a
damn,
shock to me. It was a shock to me. It was a shock to me that it wasn't off the court family. And you have some countries where it is. It's totally off the court family where they hit you up and be like, hey, I've had countries with Iceland where we had like movie night, we were chilling every day, you know, we were working out together in the morning, we was practicing together in the evening, you know, asking me to come over to their parents' house to have dinner and stuff like that. So you do have those
yeah,
teams where it's more, you know, it's more intimate and you know, they really take care of you and think about you and stuff like that to make you feel comfortable. But in other countries where it's really, really professional, no.
ain't nobody got time for all of that.
Nah, ain't nobody got time for all that. You can't hit a hoop.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
that has to be really ingrained into the minds of the players that you came there to hoop. You're there for a reason. You are there to do your job to the best of your
Yeah.
ability, to do your job, to get
Yeah.
W's, get your stats, and possibly
Yeah.
move on to a higher ranked
Yeah.
teammate.
Yeah.
That's just the way
That's
it
what
is.
it's about.
Because of
That's what
course,
it's about.
we as athletes, Father Time is undefeated. At some point, when you
Mm-hmm.
retire, your
Mm-hmm.
lifespan of as being an athlete is relatively short.
Short. Yeah.
So
It is short.
they're not paying your bills after you are gone back home. You know, you got
Mm-hmm.
to kind of take care of yourself. And
Yeah.
I don't mean that in a selfish way. It's not a
Mm-hmm.
selfish thing. It's just
No, it's
you have to
not.
watch out for your own self.
Yeah. Yep.
So
It's not selfish at all, but you do have to set aside that time for, you know, self and building yourself up in basketball and then after.
yeah, we're gonna get to after as well. Um,
Yep.
from what I can tell, when I watch European women's basketball, okay, usually I'm watching very high level European like EuroLeague women
Yeah.
and stuff like that,
Yeah.
uh, or like the lower league team that I have here. Um,
Mhm.
it seems like still in women's basketball, the foreigners are still asked to carry the lion's share, whereas in men's basketball, it's on all shoulders because maybe the native players have gotten much better. So, you know, you got
Right.
guys coming overseas and playing 12 minutes, 15 minutes
Yep.
on high level
Yep.
teams. Let's put it like that.
Yep.
Of course, the lower you go in the standings, or not the standings, but in the leagues,
The more
um,
loads you have to take.
you more load you have to carry. But still,
Yep.
I think also even in high level women's basketball, the foreigners, whether it be Americans or whatever, are still looked for to be the decider of games. Is that true?
Yeah. For sure. For sure.
Why do you think that
Because
is?
that's why they brought you in. That's
But
why you're here.
why do you think it's still like that for women's basketball, but for men's basketball is not so much like that anymore?
Because there's still some amount of gaps in talent when it comes to natives and Americans or Europeans and Americans. There's still like a little gap. in between the skill level, right? So we can watch EuroLeague and everybody's good from 1 to 12.
Yeah.
Everybody's good. Like the bench can probably start.
Mm.
But when it comes down to those last 2 or 3 minutes, we're going to roll with the Americans because it's that gap that's in between the European and the American, and that pro level is different. That bucket is different. It's different.
Maybe it's
It's
like
totally
mentality.
different. The
As
skill set is
Americans,
different. The mentality is different.
yeah. I think that's
I want
another thing.
I want Plum with the ball with 2 seconds left. Not a European,
I mean,
So it's
to be
still a
honest,
gap.
to be honest, I've also seen that the European players have really closed the gap. They've really closed the gap. I mean,
Oh yeah, oh
there are some
yeah.
there
Because
are some
everything is at their
banging European
fingertips now.
players.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, because everything is at their fingertips now. So
yeah,
the same workout we doing, they doing now. All you gotta do is look it up.
yeah. That's a good point. That's a good
So the
point.
internet has brought the world a lot more closer. The internet has. And right now, there's no reason for you to not get better over the summer. Basketball is not a sport where you need another person like football. Or baseball. You don't need nobody to throw you the ball. You don't need nobody to pitch you the ball. You don't
Mm.
need to run a route. You don't need any of that. Get your butt on this phone. Get on the internet. Find you some drills that suit you and your game and what you're called to do, and work on it. Everything is at our fingertips now. So now the natives are getting better because they doing the same drills we doing, and they working at it.
And I have to say the coaching has also gotten better in the last. I mean,
Hmm.
I'm living over here 27 years, and it's crazy when I think about how many American coaches were brought over to coach because the
Yeah,
native coaches
yeah,
weren't that good. But now
yeah.
there's a lot less American coaches, a lot
Oh
more
yeah.
native coaches that are good,
Hmm.
that have
Yeah,
been schooled, that are being
yeah.
trained better. So I think the thing with the internet definitely for sure is a huge
Hmm.
factor that now everybody
Hmm.
can kind of look and see what other people are doing. That's a huge
Oh
factor.
yeah.
But
Oh
also
yeah.
European coaches have gotten much better.
Hmm. Hmm.
I
I would
think so.
agree with that. I would totally agree. You got some coaches that will coach you apart. Actually, sometimes they're not as good. There's not as good as, and you wind up winning because the position that the coach has put you in. You like, wow, we did not supposed to win that game, but the coaching style and the coaching methods that he implemented, and if you stick to that plan, you can win. You got some good coaches. You got some good European coaches over here. I got one of them. I have one of them, Serbian guy.
So, what do you think are for you as a guard? What do you think is the difference between American guards coming over and now like you as a vet? What do you think like the style of play? How do you think um how do you think what the difference is between an American player that's just coming over and a vet like you besides your experience, but I mean
Right,
like style of play?
right. Um, wow. What's the difference? So humbly speaking, man.
Don't
So
be
humbly
humble.
speaking,
Don't be humble. Speak your
man.
truth.
So humbly speaking, I don't know anything unless God tells me. You know what I'm saying? I don't know anything unless He put me up on game, first of all. But I think it's just the years that I put in and the amount of hours that
Work.
I put in to work, man. I don't think no um incoming player that first year have put in the amount of shots, the amount of hours, the amount of work, the amount of lifting, watching the game that I have put in. So when you transfer that into her being her first year, I can just eat you apart at maybe like a 60% effort. You know what I mean? I could just pick you apart because she want to go 1,000 miles per hour, 1,000 miles. And now I know it don't take that. I don't have to go 1,000 miles per hour every play. You
Mhm.
know what I'm saying? And the first year player might think that they want to get to the play right away. They don't really allow it to unfold. You know what I'm saying? They may miss some things because they're going too fast. Clock management is a little different overseas.
Yeah.
Um, So I
Wait,
think for
speaking
me,
of, wait, sorry to interrupt you, but that's a good point, the clock management. So someone
yeah,
coming from school, they're coming from a 30-second shot clock to a 24
right,
second shot clock.
yeah.
How big of a factor is that
You
for
feel
you
that
as a
six
ball?
seconds. You feel that 6 seconds
Uh-huh.
because that 6 seconds is probably like a whole nother pass, or probably a whole nother 2 or 3 passes, and then the shot. You don't have that now. You don't have that now. Then you got 8 seconds in the backcourt.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
so that's why a lot of teams are like advance the ball. You don't have to go back there and bring the ball up yourself. The big man set a pick in the backcourt and you bring it up, or you just push it up and get it back. And that
yeah.
makes the offense run faster. But you feel that difference. You
Yeah,
definitely feel that 6 seconds difference. Yeah.
it's a huge thing coming from 30-second shot clock to 24
Oh
seconds.
yeah, that's 2 or 3 passes and then a shot. That's 2 or 3 more passes than a shot.
What
You
advice
know.
would you give to someone about to come overseas? Um, One thing that you would say, you need this in your bag. You need this in your game.
Mm, a
Because now
jumper,
you're coming to Europe, so it's a different style of play than back home. So
a jumper.
something that they need.
You need a jumper, whether it be a 15-footer or a three. You need it. You need it. You need that 15-footer or the three. You need it because once you start picking apart so much going to the basket, they're gonna start clogging up the lane, like
Right,
any team would.
right.
Like any team would. And then they might start boxing one. I've gotten that a lot. Boxing one. You need a jump shot. You're gonna need that jump, not to rely on it, but to use it. You
How
gotta have that.
how important is learning to play off the ball?
Ooh, I still haven't mastered that.
I mean, it's a bigger thing here than back home.
hmm
So
Because in Europe, you don't really have to play off ball. You have the ball. A lot of places, a lot of teams that I play with, you have the ball. There's no off the ball. Go and get the ball. You know what I mean? So I'm still adapting to play off the ball. Set a down screen or set the hammer screen or set the cross screen so somebody else can get open and then you come up. I'm still working on that because I'm not used to it.
come on. I mean, you never are finished learning. You never finish learning.
No,
So
no,
it's
you've
normal.
never in this game. You've never arrived. Never,
No.
never. It's always something.
What you've played 12 seasons. This will be your 13th season, right?
Yep, yep.
Okay.
To be my 13th season.
I am not going to blast you on my podcast and announce how old you are, but let's just say
34, man. 34 and getting
oh,
younger.
see, I'm a gentleman. I wasn't gonna put that out there like that. But
Listen, I'll be 35 Thursday.
so I knew that too. I was gonna say something about that later.
Yeah.
So you are of advanced age. And
Advanced age.
um, so what have you done all these years to keep your body fresh and ready to
Mm,
go?
I haven't. I haven't. I just started stretching maybe 3 seasons ago. I'm so sorry. I
You
couldn't give you a
wildin'
professional answer. I'm so sorry. I couldn't give you a professional answer. What I do is I work out like crazy. I work.
Wait, it
Am
broke
I
up.
back?
Yeah, you're back
Okay, we're
now.
back. Okay. I'm sorry I couldn't give you a more professional answer. But listen, that's what
So
I did. I just worked out. I just worked out. Like I was so gun hold on, man, just prepare. Everything else gonna come. Just prepare. Get your miles in the morning. Go live. Then get your workout in or however you do it. That was my thing. I didn't even know about taking care of the body, even coming out of college, because I wasn't injury prone. I've never had an injury.
you're
Praise
lucky.
God that I've been protected since I've started playing basketball. Ankle twist here and there. That's
Yeah,
about it.
normal.
Never been under the knife. So I didn't know to take care of your body until my back went out. And then I learned that stretching added about a good 3 or 4 more years to my body. Just stretching. Just stretching. And I started stretching maybe 2 or 3 years ago. Because my back went out due to not stretching. and my back went completely out, and I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't even walk. So taking care of your body, half of that is stretching, stretching, stretching before you go to sleep, and probably put it in your daily routine to stretch in the morning. Oh man, it add years for sure.
Game
So
changer.
that's what I do now. Yeah, that's what I do now. That's what I do now.
That's funny because when I was a player, I hated stretching too. I did not
I hate
stretch,
it.
did
It's
not stretch,
boring.
couldn't do it. I can't even,
Yeah,
you know how people can sit in the what is it called? Indian seat or
yeah.
like with your legs crossed
Couldn't do it.
and like up. I can't even do that.
Couldn't do it.
I'm so unflexible. I can't even do that.
Who
I
you
mean I'm
talking
old
to?
now. I'm old now, but even when I was like fit, like I couldn't do that. So
Listen, I was the most unbendable person in the world. But now, since I've learned to stretch and really get serious about stretching, it's better. Much, much, much better. Much better.
how do you think if you would have started doing that as your routine earlier,
Hmm.
what kind of effect do you think it would have had on your game?
Ooh, probably would have been a little bit faster. Probably would have been a little bit faster. And I started having like Achilles soreness early on in my career, and that was from not stretching.
Right.
So I probably could have avoided that, and I had a little bit of heel spurs, and now I don't have it. Now I don't have it at all because it's just stretching, just simply stretching my hips.
That's crazy. But
Yeah.
but obviously you are a freak of nature because I remember when I was 34, I retired at 34, and it was like,
Did you?
yeah, I mean I knew that was going to be my last year. It was clear that that
Okay.
was going to be my
Okay.
last year, and I was already
Yeah.
prepared for the next step. So um, when I retired at 34, it was like, yeah, you old. Like I was still
Yeah.
playing at a decent level, but it was like, okay, and I never wanted to be the type to play past his expiration date, you know. I didn't want people to look at me and think I was only playing for money or that
Right.
I had
Yeah.
really deteriorated and like, oh,
Yeah.
wow, Sean's terrible, you know. I was
Yeah.
very conscious of that. So
Yeah.
I could see my decline when I was about 31, 32.
Could
I
you
was
see
like,
it?
I was like in
What?
my prime,
In
but it
what
was
way you
like
felt like you was
different.
declining? In what way?
Um, I was a very athletic player,
Hmm.
and I could see it leaving me. It was
Okay.
it was leaving me.
Okay.
I adapted. My mental got better. Of course, as you get older, you think the game
Hmm.
differently. And I always wanted to be a coach anyway, so I was already thinking, stuff like that. And the
Yeah.
opportunity came for me to coach very very quickly. But no, I could see it was deteriorating, and
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
just didn't want to be that guy that said, "Hey, then Sean
Yeah.
is old, and why is he still playing?"
Milking the
And
game. Yeah.
thirty
Milking
four
the
was that
game.
age.
Yeah, I
And
got you. I got you.
so
I got
I
you.
say you are a freak of nature for the mileage that you've put on,
Praise
and you still
God,
want to
man.
go.
Praise God.
How long you think you want to play?
I hear that question often, and you know what? I don't really know. I cannot give an answer to that. I think I'm just gonna go until my body is like, you know what? We done. Or until that passion
Yeah,
and that
yeah,
desire to not want to prepare. Because
right.
you're always gonna want to play. Everybody want. I can play tomorrow. I can play right now. If it's a game right now,
Yeah,
I'm gonna want to play. You know what I mean? But
yeah,
I think for me, I think when that desire to prepare starts to dwindle, where I don't want to go to shoot around, I don't want to
yeah.
prepare in the summer, I don't want to lift, I don't want to run to get in shape for another season, then it's like, okay, now I can see where you're not prepared. You're gonna milk the game. You're gonna milk the game. Then you're gonna be that old head that everybody be like, get the switch on B. Get the
Mm-mm,
switch.
mm-mm. You don't want that.
Destroy.
Don't want that.
And I can't have that. I
Yeah,
can't have
I had
that.
too much pride for that. I had too much
Too much.
pride for that.
Too much pride. Too much pride. So I just feel like when my body is like, okay, let's shut it down. We've had enough. Or when God tells me like, hey, we're going to another season.
Another
We're going
direction.
to another direction. It's more doors that's opening for you. This is closed, and let's do something else. Then I'll be ready to move on. Definitely ready to move
You
on.
talk about like the you'll know it when you don't want to prepare. And I had just made a
Yeah.
post about the preseasons over here. Um,
Yeah.
I think that's when you know it. When you're
Mhm.
struggling in preseason, not necessarily the actual running or anything like that, but that motivation is different.
Yeah.
I,
Yep.
that was one of the signs that I saw, like preseason, like, damn, do I
You
want to
dread
do
it.
this
Start
again?
dreading it. Yeah. Yep.
Like that was like one of the signs, like, nah, I don't know about this preseason joint. Okay, I was lucky to have a coach towards the later part of my career. Are you still there? I see you circling over here. Wait, let's see. The connection is broken. I don't know if can anybody hear me? You got me?
Yeah, I'm back. My Wi-Fi is a little
Oh, so
janky.
now I got you. So what I was gonna say is
Yeah.
towards the end of my career, I was fortunate enough to have a coach that didn't try to run me into the ground and gave me
Yeah.
those kind of vet days off. Like
Yeah.
Monday,
Yeah.
Tuesday, we don't really need you that much. Wednesday through Friday, let's go.
You gotta be here.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So I was lucky in
That's
that
love
sense.
right there.
I was lucky in that sense. But
Yeah.
I think it's real a big sign with preseason. That's when you
Yeah.
that's when you kind of start
Hmm.
figuring out how long you want to do this or not.
Yep. Because in the beginning you were ready for preseason. You were
Yeah,
ready for whatever.
yeah,
Whatever they had you doing, you were ready. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
You was excited, you were ready. And like you say, when it's no longer like that, you dreading everything, when you dread practice and complaining and dreading trust me,
Oh,
I've
it's time
seen
to
it.
hang it up.
Trust me, I've seen it. I've seen it. I've
Time
seen
to hang
it.
it up.
And I'm like, yeah, you probably need to go ahead and, do something different because excitement is
So
gone.
let's get to what you're doing off the court because I find it
Yeah.
very very fascinating what you're doing. Um,
Yeah.
you have started a page on Instagram
Yeah.
called I'm sorry,
God,
uh,
athletes.
God and Athletes, right?
Yeah.
And can you tell me first of all how it came to be that you started
Yeah.
this, and
Yeah.
big yourself up, big it up. Tell the people out there what you're doing.
Right. So God had told me to start God and Athletes, right? And it's actually as I'm starting this platform, God is dropping more gems on me on how to expand it. So I'm starting with God and Athletes, a devotional, a 31-day devotional for athletes, you know, beginning how to tie in scripture with basketball or tie in scripture into sports. You know what I'm saying? Because there has to be for me, there has to be a balance with your relationship with Christ and with your relationship with basketball, right? So I started
Right.
this Instagram, with posting players with the scripture, and so many people has told me like, B, I actually needed that. I actually needed that. You know what I'm saying? So that's going on, and then I just finished a 31-day devotional for athletes. I'm going to put that out maybe next year, and then I have a 365. I have a 365-day devotional for athletes as well. It's called God and Athletes, and then I'm going to eventually start camps, God and Athletes camp, and then I'm going to start a foundation, you know what I'm saying, to give back to schools, to Thanksgiving and turkey drives and Christmas and haircuts and stuff like that. So that's definitely on the rise. So that's what I'm doing off the court, God and
How
athletes.
how important is it for you that service aspect to give back and to yeah basically to give back to people that are maybe
Yeah,
less fortunate, or you where you come from is not all peaches and cream, so you
right,
know what it's like.
right.
How important is that service aspect for you?
Man, for me it's better to give than to receive anything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's always better to plant seeds than to pick up a harvest for me. So if I can give back the game in any way that I possibly can and somebody benefit from it, I've done my deed. For sure I've done my deed. What is it for me to obtain all the information and just keep it? So
Exactly.
a lot of people
Exactly.
a lot of people need that direction like you're doing. You know what I'm saying? You dropping gems every day because you know somebody need it. And it's not
Yeah.
even about the likes. It's not about the comments. As long as you heard me, the
Oh
seeds
yeah,
planted.
yeah, yeah.
As
That's
long
I
as you
don't
heard
care
me.
about a like or anything
Nope.
like that.
Just
If
hear me.
my thing is getting the
Let me
information
plant the
out there
seed. There we go.
Exactly.
Let me plant the seed.
Get it out there,
And that's
and
what it's
somebody will
about.
see it at some point. You know,
Let me plant the seed.
my mother used to tell me all the time, you don't find a good book finds you. And
Yeah.
that's what it's like.
Yeah.
I might put something out there now, and somebody 3 years from now sees it, and it
Yep.
helps them.
And
I
it
don't care if
helps.
I had 3 likes or
Nope.
28,000 likes.
I
If
don't
it
care. It's
helps
out there.
somebody, that's what
Yep.
it's about.
Yep. It's out there. It's out there. So for me, it's just it, and it's giving back to my community, and not only my community, but other people's community. It don't matter where I'm from or what state or city that I'm helping, as long as I'm helping. So that foundation is going to be huge. It's going to eventually be huge for a lot of kids in the inner city.
What is
It's
it
going to be
like for
huge.
you? What is it like for you when you go home? You spend 9, 10 months overseas. You go
Yeah.
home, uh, and is it like you're from Chicago? Is it like you feel, I don't know how to say it. It's like when you come back, do you feel like the weight on your shoulders when you come back because it's so different from the lifestyle that you just led for nine,
Right.
ten months?
Right.
Like how is
It's
that for you?
definitely different. It's definitely different in terms of the violence. Like sometimes you don't want to go home. Sometimes you just don't want to go home because of the violence. And I live in the inner city too. So a lot of times I'm going to sleep to you heard those shots? Da 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 da. Sometimes you driving and you got to duck because you hear gunshots. You know what I mean? So sometimes it's breathtaking to go home. Sometimes it is. It is, especially this summer. A girl that she a lot of years behind me in high school, but she got killed for no reason. You
Mhm.
know, so it's different. Not the weight of the world on my shoulders, but just trying to be careful. Trying to be careful in what you do, where you go, who
Who
you
you with?
interact with. Yeah, oh, for sure. Who you interact with. Because a lot of people ain't going to tell you what they just did. They going to let you get right in their car and ride around with you like they ain't done nothing. So
No.
you definitely have to be mindful of who you with, who you talk to, who you engage with, where you are, what time, you
That's
know,
that's stressful when you just were living 9, 10 months overseas and don't have to
with your
worry
hair
about
down,
none of that.
with your hair down, with your hair down, with your hair down. The most that you would get over here is people staring at you because they've never seen a black person in their life. So you got to get used to people staring at you. That's about
Right.
it.
Right.
That's about it. They just stare. They just stare because you black. That's the
Yeah.
most I get. So going from one extreme to the another, it can be tough. It can be tough.
Hey, this question just popped in my head. This is something that I've actually always wanted to ask a female basketball player, a female hooper that played overseas, and I never remembered to ask, and it just popped in, so I'm going to ask you.
Yeah.
Do you have male groupies overseas?
Male groupies. Yeah, and most of them are natives.
Uh,
Yeah, most of them are natives. You do. I just met one like a few hours ago. Yeah. You do. You get them. You get them, and
okay,
most of them are natives.
okay,
You do.
all right.
You do.
Um, how proud is your family of you? I saw you post with your mom before you left to come back
Man,
overseas. How proud is your mom of your accomplishment and what you've been able to do throughout your career?
man, I can't even. It's unfathomable, proud. Because she's seen when I picked up the basketball at 4, and then to see it at 34, and all that I've been able to accomplish. Sometimes it's jaw dropping to her, and she's watching it, and it's jaw dropping to her. My little cousins, they look up to me. I just asked him. I just asked my 6-year-old cousin. I said, "You want to go to a WNBA game?" He said, "No, you ain't playing." I'm like, "Oh, okay." He said, "No, you're not playing." I said, "Okay, okay." But they're extremely proud, man, and I'm proud to see that they're proud. So it definitely keeps me going, keep making the
Yeah,
right decisions,
yeah.
keep being, the light, keep leading the way and being the example, positive example any way that I can. Even when I fall short,
Uh,
it's even
that's dope. That's dope.
a teaching
I got one final question before I get to the lighter questions, the quick answer questions. Um, because it's different, of course, for a man and a woman to be an athlete and what women have to deal with, um, pressures from society to get married, have children, and things like that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's so easy for y'all.
Yeah, yeah.
It's so
And then of
easy.
course we
You
can
don't
have
have
a
to
kid
stop
and not stop
playing.
playing. Y'all can't.
Yeah.
So as you're getting older, has it been a thought in your head like, okay, maybe I want to go another route and give into the kind of
Mhm.
pressures of society?
Yeah.
Has it ever been a
Right.
thought for you like, okay, maybe I need to?
For sure.
Mm.
For sure. For sure. It's been a thought. For sure. It's been a thought because I want a huge family and I should have started probably last night. You know what I mean? I probably should have started last night because I want a big family. But, um, but you know what? I had prayed about that. I had prayed about that. And when God told me, he said, man, he said, I am the perfecter of time. I created time. So time doesn't stop me to, if you want to have kids at 45, I will reclaim your time. He said, I will reclaim your time. I will redeem your clock and reclaim your time. Don't worry about that. You do what I'm telling you to do. I'm sending you to be a light in these locker rooms, to play the desire that's in your heart, and you're doing the work for me. So whenever it's time for you to be married and have kids with your husband, I will reclaim your time. And when he told me that, that gave me so much peace.
Mhm.
Oh man, it gave
I
me so
feel you.
much peace. I'm like, okay, cool.
I feel you. Brittany, hey,
Yeah.
I am so I haven't laughed this much in such in a while. I am
I should have
so
started yesterday,
thankful
I'm telling you.
for you to be on here and be dropping gems and come with the honesty, the raw honesty. I I
Yeah.
I'm so with that. Okay, so that's it for the normal questions. We're going to jump to
Yeah.
a couple of. I got only a couple more questions for you. Kind of quick answer questions. So I'll put you on the spot right away.
Put me
Which
on the
of your
spot.
championships is the most special to you?
Oh, the first one.
Because it was the first one?
It was the first one.
Yeah, mine too.
Yep, the first
Mine too.
one.
My first one was definitely the most
The first
gratifying.
one, it was, yeah, because you've never felt that feeling before. After that, it's kind of like it never gets old. Now I
No,
can win 30 more and it never gets old. But that first one, it's
yeah,
nothing like feeling that first one. It's like, oh my God.
I feel you.
The
I
first
feel
one.
you. Who wins one on one? 24-year-old or 34-year-old? You.
Oh, 34-year-old B was slaughter 24-year-old B. Too little. Too little. Too little and don't know enough. But 24-year-old B a little bit faster than 34-year-old B. A lot faster. A lot faster
But
than, well, not a lot faster, but
you putting your money on the vet.
yeah, for sure. Too little. 24 too little.
What is the most interesting fan interaction you've had in Europe?
Man, I've had well a lot now. A lot of fans now are asking me to draw this on their chest now. A lot of fans are asking me to do that. That's pretty cool. And then I had a lady in the grocery store. Actually, I was in Romania. I was in Romania, my second year in Romania. And I was in the grocery store with an older lady. She was real old. And she kept looking at me and kept staring at me, but I know that's normal. And she would came up to me and she looked at me and she actually did her hand like this to my face. And she was like, "Oh man, beautiful." I
Wow.
don't have nothing to say. I can't even get mad at it. I can't even push my ground.
I feel
I
you.
couldn't even push it out the way.
I feel you. Um, I'm gonna put you on the spot again. Favorite country that you played in? For whatever
Favorite
reason,
country.
whether it be the basketball or the lifestyle,
Iceland.
favorite
Iceland.
country. Iceland?
Iceland.
Really?
Yeah. Iceland,
Why?
then after that, Israel.
Why Iceland?
Beautiful. Oh, beautiful. Beautiful. The water, the country itself, the land. It's beautiful. The food is beautiful. It's
Really?
beautiful. And the people. The people
I'm
are
sure.
amazing. Amazing people. Iceland, then after that, Israel, because Israel is beautiful.
Yeah, it is. It is.
It's
Wow,
beautiful. It's
that's
beautiful.
surprising that you chose to me that you chose Iceland because I think I've never heard anybody say anything bad about Iceland, but that's not like from the places that you've played, I would have not picked Iceland if
Beautiful.
somebody
It's
asked me.
beautiful. It's beautiful. Oh, the
So,
nature. The
so
nature is amazing.
and especially you coming from Chicago, like you going to Iceland,
Right.
that's different.
It's different. It's totally different. It's
That's
totally
cool.
different. I
I
think we
like
were
that.
sledding and everything. Iceland is dope.
I appreciate that answer. That's real dope. Okay,
Yeah.
last one. Um, what ball shoes are you playing in this season, or you starting out in this season?
You know
What
what?
shoes you wearing?
One of my homeboys had gave me some linings because he's actually they give him he's sponsored by them, so he
Uh,
threw me a couple pair of linings, most comfortable shoes right now that I have the
Really?
linings. I got the Jordan low top 11s. I got a pair of Kyrie's, but they was not too comfortable to me. I don't really like those. And what else am I playing in? I think that's it. I think that's it.
What's your all time favorite basketball shoe for
All
playing?
time
For
favorite.
playing.
It gotta be the Hyper Reacts. Remember the Hyper Dunks?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Gotta be the Hyper Dunk. That's the
Mhm.
all time favorite. They actually need to bring the
Bring
Hyper
that
Dunks
back.
back
Right. Yeah,
for
that was a good
sure.
shoe.
That was the
That was a
most
good shoe.
comfortable shoes I've ever had in my life was a Hyper Dunks.
I think the most comfortable shoes I ever had was the Iverson. I think the Answer. I think it was those.
Really?
Those were
Those
so
not too
good.
heavy?
Those were so dope. Oh
Really? They're
man.
not heavy?
No, they were light. They were light. I can't remember if it was it wasn't the question. It wasn't the question was the very first shoe. And then I think a
Mm.
couple of years later they brought out the Answer, and ooh, those were
Was it the low
dope.
top or the high top?
They were low. They were low. I only
Okay,
played
so
low
they
top.
probably were a little bit more.
Oh,
Yeah.
dope.
Did you
Oh
get into
man.
the pro models?
No, not so
The
much.
pro models?
Not so much.
Yeah,
Not
I
so
like
much.
those. Those are pretty cool.
So, Brittany, you hit the shot at the buzzer.
Hmm.
Thank you for your refreshing way. Thank you
Yeah,
for enlightening my
my pleasure.
teammates out there. Thank you for making me laugh. I already, I know I like so tomorrow when I or whenever I release the thing on YouTube, when I have it uploaded on YouTube, then I put a little
Yeah,
picture together. And I always have an
yeah.
idea of what picture I'm going to use for the promo, and I already know what picture I'm going to use. So
You
when you
already
see
know
it
what picture.
tomorrow, it's going to be I know what I'm going to use. So thank you for your
My
honesty,
pleasure.
your
My
faith.
pleasure.
Thank you for explaining that what you're doing. I'm gonna make sure I get all the links up in the bio for the YouTube
Yeah.
so people can hit you up and follow your journey and what you're doing
Yep.
outside of basketball. And I wish you all the best.
Man, thank you so much, Sean. Same
Playing,
to you.
keep
What
playing
you're
till
doing is
you
amazing.
keep playing till you figure it's time. And I know
Yeah,
you're gonna be doing great things outside of basketball. So
yeah, yeah.
I'm gonna be following you too. So
For sure.
don't be a stranger. Hit me up if you ever need something from me. And I'm gonna
Yeah.
hit you up. I'm definitely gonna send you this. It's 13
Thank
years
you.
too late, but
I need it. I need
I'm
it too. You
definitely gonna
never
send
stop
you.
learning.
So thank you for being on. I really
Thank you.
appreciate it. And yeah, I'll be in touch.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me. Keep dropping the gems that you're dropping. Keep telling the people what they need, what you've gone through, because it helps. Keep planting the seeds.
We'll do. Thank you so much. Get on up
Thank you
out of
so
here.
much. All right. Thank you so much. See
Bye.
y'all later. All right.
So, teammates, I hope you guys and girls got some good info from that. I mean, that was a classic one for me. Laughed a lot, learned a lot, and that's what this show is about. That's what I try to do. Give useful information, entertain you as well. But uh, I've had some really fantastic guests, and I'm really thankful for each and every one of them. I'm also thankful for all of you that tuned in. Whether I say it all the time, whether you watch for 1 minute or you watch the whole 60 minutes or whatever, how many minutes I go. Um, and just like as usual, if there's some information that you saw today that you think someone else could use, please share that information. Let's get the community, let's get the basketball community educated, and make sure we look after one another because no one else is going to do it. And so that's my big goal. And for those of you that just joined, hi, but we're about to get up out of here. So that was the Eurostep for tonight. We had one yesterday. Got a great one coming up next week, and I really look forward to. So everybody, be safe. Enjoy yourselves. Be safe out there, and I hope to see you all next week, or at the very least that you watch it on YouTube and share it with your friends, family, neighbors, cats, dogs, all of that. So, thank you for tuning in. Old head out.